This is the definition of a casual gamer. Mario has been with these guys longer than their dad has, and nothing beats a lazy Saturday like booting up the new Mario game and just having a good time. Here's to hoping that this new Mario movie will turn out better than the one from 1993. Casuals watch out, because these guys mean business. They know their game's lore inside and out, and anyone who talks crap about Majora's Mask is quick to get a 30-minute explanation on why they're wrong. In all fairness, the series is always pretty fun, but if you ever call the main character Zelda, you should apologize while you still can. Someone who took their love for their game a little too far. While yes, the Sonic franchise is easily the best that ever came from Sega, and Sonic Adventure 2 continues to be one of the best games of all time, these guys made it their goal to spread Sonic across every facet of their life. Anyone who's ever set foot on DeviantArt will immediately understand. Most likely a PewDiePie fan, but even if they're not, who doesn't like the idea of just building things with no specific goal? They're a free spirit that enjoys being creative, while idolizing content creators to an unhealthy degree. When they saw that dream face reveal, it was better than any diamond they could have ever imagined. People who like cartoons more than they like actual shooting games. Most are playing just to throw out a couple of booyahs in turf war, but there are still a couple of tryhards who will make it their life mission to win at all costs. You can usually tell which fans are basic, normal, or weirdos based off of which is their favorite idol. The true fans of first-person shooters. They saw a game where you're a sick-looking space soldier in an annular world of aliens with guns, and they begged their mom to ignore the M rating. There aren't too many of these guys left after the disaster that was Halo 5, but the ones who are left probably never bothered to buy a Switch or a PlayStation. The party game fans. Don't expect these guys to know anything about video games, and for that matter, don't expect them to know half the characters on the roster either. They're the kind of people who just buy a Nintendo console to bring it to work parties so that they can pretend that they care about their employees. Chess players who want their pieces to look like cute girls. They strategize everything from the battles to the character shippings starting at the very beginning of the game. There used to be infighting between fans about whether the old games were better than the new games, but now it's mainly about which of the house leaders was really the bad guy. By the way, Edelgard was right, Black Eagles for life. People who want to get into shooting games but prefer a more Disney-themed aesthetic. More than likely got into the game because of Diva and had to stay because that's just what their friends wanted to play. Either that, or they keep playing to get that next loot box. And the one after that. And the one after that. The pandemic Nintendo fans. They bought this game during lockdown and had an absolute blast crafting different materials to get different items, which is totally different from Minecraft. The real fans will remember playing the game back when their tools didn't break. Overall, they just enjoy hanging around with animals and praying that their next villager isn't a goat. The kind of person who will justify someone's murder just because they think the killer is hot. What may start off looking like some harmless game with lots of wacky personalities quickly makes you panic about which of your favorite characters will survive the longest. If the first is their favorite, they're basic. If the second is their favorite, they're a simp for gamer girls. If the third is their favorite, start playing Claire de Lune and see how they react. One of two people. Either a regular Final Fantasy fan who stopped playing after Kingdom Hearts 2, or someone who's legitimately been trying to keep up with all the retcons that make the series as confusing as it is. Regardless of which type, I'm pretty sure we're all tired of Disney Worlds acting as filler and praying that they don't add Star Wars or Marvel. Someone who only buys the new games because they enjoyed the old games. While the Pokemon Company continues to churn out games with less and less effort, their profits continue to go up because they know that people will buy them. Most will recognize X and Y as the last good Pokemon games, but the ones that like the newer games are more than likely people who got into the franchise due to Pokemon Go. Someone who likes this game will say it's the best game ever while simultaneously ridiculing how bad the NPCs were. They enjoyed the fuss row daw and arrow to the knee jokes back in the day, but now they just play one of the 7 remakes because there's still no sign of an Elder Scrolls 6 anywhere in sight. the more serious party game enthusiast. They're the type who will grind minigames so that they'll be ready no matter what comes up. More than likely a capitalist who claims that they're winning by skill when they're ahead, but will ironically complain about how large of an impact luck has when they land on a Bowser space. Someone who got into the series because of the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, and stayed because it's essentially the new Final Fantasy. While the battle mechanics may not be as good as traditional JRPGs, it makes up for that with cute girls in swimsuits. Just be careful around people who say they prefer Fiora over Melia. I don't know if you can trust their judgment. Someone who will legitimately buy the same game every single year just so that they'll have an updated roster. Some of them are just playing Madden to fill the gap left behind after the NCAA game stopped being made. But in the end, they're all just playing so that they can have the playing time that their high school coach never gave them. Someone who took a party game to an unhealthy competitive level. At first they were having fun with a crossover roster that featured over 80 characters from their favorite games, but they needed more. Then they decided to take away every feature that made it a party game so that they could play 12 hours a day and teabag on anyone who accidentally falls off the ledge. If you play as Donkey Kong, you're just trying to have a good time. If you play as Ness, you're playing so that nobody has a good time. A fan who doesn't actually like the formula of the new games, but can't stop buying them because of the amount of time they put into the old games. There's still a fairly large community of AC fans which keeps people interested, but outside of memes and nostalgia, their best days are behind them. The Grandpa Gamer. Someone who discovered the Blue Bomber back during either the NES or Super Nintendo era, and prefers the side-scrolling jump and shoot man over newer open world games. If they're a fan of Mega Man 2 or 3, they're an NES fanboy. If they like the X games, they're probably just rocking out to Storm Eagle. If they like any of the other ones, they're asking for emotional help. Look guys, I don't think I can mention anything about this game without getting demonetized. I mean, if you're a GTA fan, you know why you like this game. You already know. Do I need to say anything? Are we good? Let's just say you like the open world. Yeah, let's say that. Wait, there are people whose favorite game is ARMS? You're joking, right? Who are these people? Hang on. Are there like ARMS content creators? Let me look. Okay, I legitimately looked it up and I couldn't find a single YouTuber whose content was focused primarily around ARMS. I mean, if this is your favorite game, props to you for your bravery. Someone who wants to live an ideal high school life with friends and romance, but has to do so vicariously through a video game. Sure, you get to experience a creative storyline with a decent battle mechanic, but every Persona fan knows why you're really playing this game. Pancakes. These are the guys who grip onto their 1990s title, which they probably never played until the 2010s anyway, and refuse to let go. This game was an absolute masterpiece, darn it, and they're gonna cherish it even if the majority of people know nothing about its lore. Besides, it's not like Mother 3 is ever going to get a localization anyway. People who hide behind the freedom that their game gives them as an excuse for causing NPCs excruciating pain. These guys think that if Bethesda sold the IP to Obsidian that the game would be saved, but little do they know, they'll find something to complain about no matter who makes it, and no matter how much they enjoy it. Someone who wants to practice law but isn't smart enough to take the LSAT. The amount of twists and turns this series has is enough to give them a reason to ever pick up their Nintendo DS again. Or if you're like most Ace Attorney fans, you'll just watch all the cutscenes on YouTube, because that's essentially all this game is anyway. And finally, we have these guys who haven't gotten a good installment since 2001. They'll either cling to their favorite entry in the series, which is usually Final Fantasy 6, 7, or 10, while still holding on to some sliver of hope that the series didn't die once Nomura left to work on Kingdom Hearts. But surely, Final Fantasy 16 will be the one that changes everything, right? And that's gonna be it. Let me know what your favorite game is, and hopefully I didn't rustle any feathers. If I did though, leave a like. Okay, that's it. Bye everyone, don't forget to subscribe.